Guys, I'm going to go over 5 underdog plays, including 3 plus 500 or more plays that I think is going to hit for UFC 305 ADSESANYA versus du Plessis. So let's first go with Stewart Nicoll. I think Stewart Nicoll is a really, really good grappler. That's the one thing I can say about him, is he transitions from half guard to side control to mount better than a lot of 125ers do, and his ground control is insane. I don't think Jesus Aguilar has the scrambling ability to do that, to maintain and keep up with him. I think that he'll end up finding a choke in this fight. And let's see where he is to choke. I think so under 2.5 is a plus 115. So if you really think about it, at plus 400 odds for Stewart Nicoll to get a submission isn't crazy. Aguilar, he has a problem too. He's really short and his legs are really stubby. So when he transitions to the back and takes the back in mount, so when he's on top of him, he can flatten his legs out. And you've seen Aguilar against Tatsuro Taira and Mendonca in his last fight, where he's had issues of trying to get out of that spot. But Mendonca isn't as good of a grappler as Stewart Nicoll. Stewart Nicoll's actually competed in pretty renowned grappling competitions. So I think him by submission at plus 400 is a really, really good bet. If you want to put like $500, I'm probably going to put like $500 on it to win $2,000. That's a really, really good play you can get. You can do also. Let me see if I can parlay all these too. Okay, let's do plus 400. Okay, you can see it right there, plus 400. Okay, how about Herbert Burns? You have to understand, Herbert Burns is shit. Yes, I know he's a quitter. He's this and that. He's everything under the sun. But you have to understand, Herbert Burns is actually a decent fighter. He's a decent fighter. And even though he quits, he gives you one good round. And in that one good round against a Jack Jenkins, who I don't think his grappling's as good as people, I guess people don't rate him, but I don't think it's that good. And I would love to see it get tested by Herbert Burns. So instead of taking wins by submission at plus 900, let's take Herbert Burns, because I only think he can do it in the first round. So let's take Herbert Burns in round 1 at plus 1600. Look at that. You put $100, you make $8,400 right there. I think that's a really, really good flyer, a home run play. Jack Jenkins, he got his arm snapped against Chepe. Chepe did like a wizard throw, and Jack Jenkins tried to frame and plant on his arm, on his hand, and on his post, and he had his arm dislocated. So I think that Herbert Burns' jiu-jitsu might be too much if he gets him to the ground. The problem is, I don't know if he's going to get him to the ground, but Herbert Burns, I think, is competitive enough to give a flyer in the first round against Jack Jenkins. Another fight here. How about Rozenstruik by KO? I mean by decision. Excuse me. Rozenstruik by decision. Let's see where it is. Rozenstruik by decision or technical. Plus 750. So how can we not take Rozenstruik by decision? He's a plotter. I mean, you saw it versus Gaziev. He just stands there and waits. He doesn't go first ever. He hates going first. He likes to be a counterpuncher. But TUIVASA also, he doesn't really like going first either. If you watch first, like Augusto Sakai, when he fought him, he was just pushing him to the cage and then waiting for Augusto Sakai to throw a jab and try to come with a left hook. But I think that Jair Rozenstruik, he's going to win a leg kick battle. I can see that. I can see a lot of clinching on the fence. I think that this fight doesn't go after a first round. It's not gonna go a KO in the second or KO in the third. I think it's either first round or bust. And I think Jair's Rozenstruik's a more technical striker. So him at plus 750 is a really good bet, honestly. I think that people are sleeping on TUIVASA's chin, and Rozenstruik's chin isn't great, but I think I don't know if TUIVASA has like the prowess or the technical ability to block all the parries of Rozenstruik. I'm not saying these are for sure locks, but as a Hail Mary, I mean, why not? I mean, these are pretty good odds, I think. One of my favorite plays, honestly. First off, I don't think this fight's going to go to the distance. So if you want to take a plus 175 stab or plus 180 stab, let me see what it is. Fight to not go distance. Plus 180. If you want to take a plus 180 stab on this, I don't think this fight goes the distance, honestly. I think Hooker isn't as good of a scrambler as the guys that Gamrot fought, like RDA and Benil Dariush and Arman Sarukian. I don't think that he's good enough as a scrambler. Dan Hooker also just had arm surgery. I think he broke his arm versus Jalen Turner. And I think that people sleep on Dan Hooker's guillotines. Dan Hooker, in his beginning of his career in the UFC, he guillotined Mark Diakisi and then another guy named Mark. But he does it off a double leg. When people shoot on him, he goes for submission. That's his thing. He doesn't try to like split his legs. He split his legs on the cage and like go 2-on-1 and this and that. He goes for a submission. He has long arms. He tries to go with that high elbow guillotine. And I honestly, for bang for your buck, he's gonna attempt it at least 5 or 6 times. Where is he by decision? Dan Hooker by submission. Sorry, by plus 2,000. How do you not take a stab on this? How do you not take Dan Hooker? If he's gonna attempt it 5 or 6 times, you have to understand. Islam Makhachev didn't take him down. He caught a kick, and when he caught that kick, it off balanced Dan Hooker, and he just pounced on him. When Mark Diakisi shot a takedown, he threatened a guillotine. When Gilbert Burns shot one takedown, he threatened a guillotine. He's going to threaten multiple guillotines. And I think that's Gamrot, because Gamrot only shoots double legs. That's the thing too. He only shoots double legs. So what can you do on a double leg? You get a guillotine. That's one of the 2 things you can do. You can either try to spall hard or get a guillotine. And I think he will try to get a guillotine on this. So another play I like that I don't know why people are not talking about. Where is it at? Dricus by decision. Is it on here? Dricus by decision. It's plus 400. You see it right there. It's plus. Why is it plus 400? That's crazy. Is Israel Adesanya's jiu-jitsu that bad where Dricus can go from full guard or half guard to mount? I don't think so. I don't know if Dricus du Plessis' guard passing skills, his BJJ offensive grappling is good enough to do that either. Excuse me. I think that Dricus, if he wins this fight, is going to win 49, 46, 50, 45. I can't see him KOing Izzy. I don't know if he. I guess you can see. I could see Izzy trying to do that Masvidal like long hook on a 1-2, which is dumb. It doesn't work. I don't know why people even try it. I mean, it works probably in sparring when you're not going 100%, but doing the 1-2 when Masvidal and Usman did it, that was awful. Strickland threw a 1-2 against Adesanya, and Adesanya tried to counter with the hook. But I think Duplessis straight shots will be a problem for Adesanya and back him up, because Adesanya just loves skirting the fence. And I think Duplessis is going to take him down a couple of times. And if Duplessis takes him down, I don't know if Adesanya has good enough wrestling skills to get up, because Duplessis is big. You have to understand, he's huge for the weight class. And I don't know if Adesanya even cuts more than 5 pounds for the weight class. I mean, you saw him versus Jan Blachowicz. He weighed in like 193 or something. So, and he probably bulked up to 193. So, I think that if you obviously put a dollar parlay or something like that on this, probably most 5 are probably going to hit. But for bang for your buck on a plus money on these 5 plays, Nicoll wins by submission, Herbert Burns round 1, Dan Hooker wins by submission, Rozenstruik by decision, and Dricus by decision. I think if you play all these and if you just hit one, you make money, or you make your money back at least into Stewart, Nicoll, and du Plessis. And I think that those are good enough odds that I would take in on this fight card. So let me know what you guys think. I think that I'm gonna put $500 on each. Maybe, hopefully, William Hill or Bovada or Steak or something will take. Let me put a $15, $20 parlay on all these. I know. Let me see how much it will pay out. $20. Yeah, 1.5 million. $20 parlay. So there's that. All right. Well, appreciate you guys. Have a good one.